Well, hello there, friends. It's the Sunday morning spread from Cards of Light, Bright Blessings of the Tarot for October 23rd, 2022. Brian Noe with you once again this week. Thank you for joining me for our 4-card energy reading for the week to come. We are using Smith-Waite Tarot deck once again. It is the borderless edition for those of you who care about things like that. I don't have an extensive collection of decks compared to people who really get into that. I've got several versions of the Rider. I've got a couple of Thoth decks. I've got a really cool deck that my wife gave me that is like stained glass windows. Can't remember the name of it now, but it's really cool. Got a Crystal Skull deck, which is extra cool. I've got several Marseille decks, including one of Patishi's. And I like reading from those. Maybe I'll pull one of those out before long here to use on one of these videos. But today we'll use this deck of Waite and Pixies. Let's take a moment just to breathe and get our minds quiet here. Okay. Before we cut the cards, our incense has decided to stop, so let's get that going right quick here just to kind of set the table appropriately. Each one of these elements on the table, we talked about this a little while back, represents, or each one of these items on the table represents one of the elements and one of the suits of the deck. So we've got fire for fire and wands. And we've got a little holy water here for cups and the element of water. We've got the incense representing the element of the air and the suit of swords. And then we've got a stone here representing the element of earth and suit of pentacles or discs or coins, depending on what deck you're using. These also represent the 4 dimensions of life that we're going to be looking at here this morning in our spread. So we'll start with the spiritual dimension. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Social, emotional. Ooh, we have the Death card, and look at these two. Okay, in the mental dimension we have the 2 of Wands, and in the physical dimension, okay, 3 of Cups. Or I'm sorry, 3 of Swords. My tired old brain this morning. All right. Let's just kind of take the global view of these cards. So we've got 3 pip cards in a major. The only suit that is missing is the suit of cups. All right, let's take these one at a time. 3 of Swords is the card of sorrows. Swords, the suit of the mind. And 3s generally I think of as cards of creativity and sometimes of collaboration. But in this suit, this card is just, an unhappy card. It can represent the sort of primal or primordial wounds of our lives. We've got in Pixie's depiction here, we've got the clouds and the rain in the background. It's just not not a fun card. I think of it as also representing keeping an open heart, and that we have these wounds in life that can make us close off, but we need to keep our hearts open in spite of that. So in the physical dimension of our lives here, which is the one that has to do with physical health, with financial matters, with things that are part of the material conditions of our lives. It looks like maybe there's like an old wound, something that we have maybe been struggling with lifelong, that is just going to either come back to haunt us or is still dogging us this week. We keep working at it. We keep, worrying about it. And we can become daunted with those things and give up. So all I can say here is that, may not be a real pretty picture this week in the physical or financial aspect, or the physical environment, that sort of thing of our lives, something that is just kind of nagging at us and causing us a lot of worry and a lot of pain. We just have to hang in there. That's all we can do. Okay, the Death card. For those that may be new to this practice, when this card pops up, people kind of tend to freak out a little bit, and it is very rare that this card actually portends of someone leaving the body, an actual physical death. It represents a lot of things. So we look at the sun over the towers back here for one thing. Death marches on. It respects no one. So we've got a cleric here, looks like the Pope. We've got a little child. We've got it is the great equalizer. But also it represents rebirth. It represents an opportunity to begin all over again. So usually when this card comes up, that's what it is showing, is, kind of rising up, more resurrection than a decline and a death. But we have to leave something behind in order to move forward. And that's really the spirit of this card, is that something that isn't serving us anymore, or something that just the time has ended for whatever reason. If we hang on to that, it is a death, But if we say, okay, that was then, this is now, we're moving forward, then we can really reinvent all the circumstances of our lives eventually. And this is coming this week in this quadrant over here that represents the social emotional dimension of our lives. And so this may be the end of a relationship. It may be the end of a habit of attention that does not serve us well anymore. But something in either our relationships with others or in our emotional outlook that the time has come to let go of. And that will lead us to the sunshine over here. That will lead us to better emotional health, better relationships. But whatever that is, whether it's a habit or whether it's a relationship with someone, we need to get it out of the way, as painful as that may be. And death is, painful. I mean, it's when we suffer loss in this, material world. Loss of any kind is not fun. It hurts us. But if we hang on we keep getting hurt. We just never get healthy again. And so this is a cue to somebody, take a breath, and it's time to move on. Both of these cards are obviously, not things that we would say, hey, this is happy, this is something to celebrate, but we can look for the deeper meaning and for a way to live despite when things like this come to us in life. So, all right, up here in the mental dimension, we have the Two of Wands. And wands, the cards of the spirit, the cards of career, the cards of passion, the cards of desire. Twos, the cards of partners, decisions, anything that comes in pairs. And this is where, as the energy moves through this suit, so the ace is the first notion of something before it begins to become a thing. But twos then are when we're starting to make plans, starting to make decisions, starting to work with others, to express that notion. And as we saw in one of the cards in our 3-card Thursday, and I can't recall now which one it was the Magician card. We've got roses and lilies again. And whenever we see those in the Smith-Waite deck, that is a depiction of spirit and flesh. So thoughts become things, passions become projects, ideas become real and manifest themselves. It's like the union of the spiritual and physical sides of our nature. So in the coming as this does in the mental dimension, this week, it's sort of a signal that some ideas that we have, maybe it's for a passion project, maybe it's something that we've put off for a while because we didn't think maybe it was practical or something along those lines. Maybe its time is coming, and we can help ourselves out by moving out of the realm of, okay, I'm thinking about this, and start to nudge forward into getting that out there in the world, whatever it is. And I'm getting the strong sense that this week is about finding a good partner to move things forward. So if this is resonating with you, you'll know who you are. Look for someone to appear this week that will be able to help you get that idea out into the world, get it moving, start making it real. For some reason, I'm seeing books here too, so I don't know what that's worth, but something to do with books. I don't know if this is a writer that needs an editor, or what's going on here, but something to do with books and something to do with getting a passion project moving forward and finding a good partner for it that will help you bring it to fruition. Okay. Knight of Pentacles up here in the spiritual dimension. Look at these two cards, how similar the depictions are. And this knight it represents the slowest moving energy in the deck. Knights, the cards of action. Pentacles, the suit of the earth, the suit of material reality. And he's not moving at all. He's got the pentacle here. It's almost like he's surveying, trying to decide, okay, where am I going to plant this seed? Where am I going to go next, and what am I going to put into action? Very slow, very deliberate. I think I've mentioned before, this to me is like the the energy of an oak tree. You know, it becomes this huge, massive thing, but it takes a long, long, long time. But once it starts, it's, you know, there's an inevitability about it as well, and there's a strength about it. When I see this card, it is a cue to plant good seeds day in and day out. Just an example from my life. One of the spiritual practices that I do is a Vajrayana practice. It comes to us from Tibetan Buddhism that has to do with the green tar, the Shamatar. And in this practice, we're reciting mantras very similar to a Catholic rosary, if you're familiar with that at all. So we're reciting these mantras of the green tar. And in order to accomplish the practice, in other words, in order to bring things kind of fully to fruition with it, we do 700,000 mantra repetitions. And that is of the heart mantra. That is one mantra, but then there's another mantra that's the action mantra of the green tar, and we do 3 of those for every 10 of the other. So altogether, we're talking about almost 1 million mantra repetitions. And when I first, saw that as part of the practice, I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna be able to complete that. Come on, 910,000 mantra repetitions, just not going to happen." But then I thought, okay, if I get started and I do a certain number every day, day in and day out, it'll take me maybe 7 years, 8 years, something like that. I'm 65, and so I'll be in my 70s when I finish that, but I haven't missed a day since like last March or April, whenever I started with this, chipping away at it, and I'm up over 75,000 of those repetitions now. So, am I going to live long enough to accomplish that before I leave the body? I don't know, but it's a good goal, and it pushes me to do that practice every single day. We came home late last evening. We were at a family wedding, and we got home after 10 o'clock. And I hadn't done my green tar practice for the day. And it would have been tempting to say, I'm just going to skip today. But I went ahead and did my practice. And I've done it already today as well. I guess it was Friday night, actually, that we were at the wedding. And so we do day after day after day, looking back at the cards here, we plant good seeds. And we do that every day. And some of those seeds sprout, and some of them turn into beautiful manifestations of things in our life that helps us weather, helps us get over the wounds, helps us move forward from those, helps us move forward from things that don't serve us anymore, helps us get projects out into the real world, helps us fulfill the purpose of our lives, the reasons that we came here in the first place. And so that's sort of the story on this card, is plant good seeds day after day after day, even though it seems like, even if it's, meditating for 10 minutes in the morning. But if you do that every day over the long sweep of things, it will be good for you. And take one last look at kind of the global view here and see if there's anything that is jumping out at me that I didn't see before. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think that pretty well tells the story of these cards this week. I'd love to hear what you think, if these are either resonating with you or if you have additional thoughts, especially if you're a tarot reader and you have thoughts on these cards. I'd love to hear what you think. You can leave comments here on the video or pop on out to the weblog at brightblessingstarot.com and get in touch with me there, or leave comments on the weblog as well. I plan to be back on Thursday for 3-Card Thursday. I hope this finds you happy and healthy and safe. And between now and Thursday, get in touch if you can. And I wish you peace. Take care of yourself.